There's a specific kind of shock that happens when you watch someone completely dominate a football match. Composure, decision-making, total control, and then you look up their age and genuinely cannot process the number. Not young, not promising, not one to watch. We're talking about players who are already operating at levels most professionals never reach, and they haven't even entered their prime. This video is about that feeling. 8 players so good that their age doesn't just impress you, it genuinely doesn't make sense.
This video is sponsored by Supply Handlers.
We'll start with the most obvious name and arguably the most ridiculous case in football right now. Lamine Yamal is 18 and the conversation around him is no longer about potential, it's about whether he's the best player on the planet. That shift from wonder kid to legitimate Ballon d'Or contender happened before he was old enough to legally drink in most countries. In 2024-25, he posted 18 goals and 25 assists for Barcelona in all competitions, averaged 4.6 completed dribbles per game, the highest rate across Europe's top 5 leagues, and became the youngest player ever to finish runner-up in a Ballon d'Or. This season he scored a hat-trick against Villarreal, the youngest player of the 21st century to do so in La Liga. His coach Hansi Flick called him a genius, saying, "This talent, if it only comes every 50 years, I'm glad it's for Barcelona." But the records aren't what makes people forget his age, it's the decision making. Yamal receives the ball and immediately scans defensive shape, weak side movement, passing lanes, and transition opportunities. Most 18-year-olds are fighting to break into a first team. Lamine Yamal is fighting for the Ballon d'Or. From Barcelona's attack to one of the most quietly special defenders in world football. Pau Cubarsí is 19, born in 2007, and centre-back is the one position where age genuinely matters. You cannot fake the positioning, the leadership, the ability to read danger before it develops. Cubarsí skipped that learning process entirely. He became the youngest defender to start a Champions League quarter-final, surpassed 100 appearances for Barcelona before turning 19, and won a domestic treble in his first full season. What sets him apart isn't just surviving at this level, it's that he actively controls games from the back. He breaks lines, finds midfielders under pressure, and organises Barcelona's high defensive line with the authority of someone who's done it for years. Barcelona fans stopped making allowances for him a long time ago. When he makes a mistake, nobody says, "Well, he's only 19." That, more than any statistic, tells you everything. Staying in Barcelona's golden generation but pivoting in style, Nico Paz is 21 and doing something at Como that very few players at any age manage. He's controlling games rather than participating in them. A Real Madrid academy product, now under Cesc Fabregas, Paz this season produced 12 goals and 6 assists in 34 Serie A appearances, earning the league's Best Midfielder award and helping Como qualify for the Champions League for the first time in their history. His pass completion consistently exceeds 88%, and his dribble success ranks in the top 5% for attacking midfielders in Italy. But statistics don't capture what makes him so disorienting to watch. There's a patience to his game, a South American playmaker's calmness, that makes him look like he's already seen every situation. Real Madrid hold a buyback clause. They will almost certainly use it. The fact that the biggest club in the world built a structured route back to him tells you everything about his ceiling. Elsewhere, Joao Neves is a masterclass in what midfield maturity actually looks like at 21. The Portuguese international has won back-to-back Champions League titles with PSG, the club's first and second European crowns, and has become one of the first names on the team sheet in a dressing room full of world-class players. Midfield is the hardest position for young players to crack precisely because it demands qualities that take years to develop. Game management, reading danger before it materializes, controlling tempo invisibly. Neves already has all of it. PSG paid €60 million to bring him from Benfica in 2024, and within months he was indispensable. He doesn't intercept the ball, he intercepts the pass before the pass even happens. 2 Champions League medals before 22, still improving. He doesn't play like a 21-year-old. He plays like the player teaching 21-year-olds how midfield actually works. PSG's dominance runs deep through this list, and nobody embodies their current golden era more vividly than Désiré Doué. The 21-year-old arrived from Reims for €50 million in 2024 and was barely starting during the early months of that debut season. Then he came off the bench against Salzburg, scored his first European goal, and never looked back. By May 2025, he was the man of the match in the Champions League final, a 5-0 win over Inter, earning the competition's Best Young Player award and the Golden Boy. In 25-26, with PSG going back-to-back, he locked down the right wing as Luis Enrique's first choice across 37 appearances. 12 goals, 7 assists. He's not intimidated by the talent around him. In a squad with Dembele, Kvaratskhelia and Vitinha, Doué regularly looks like the most dangerous player on the pitch. He's 21 and still hasn't reached his peak. That should frighten people. Away from Paris into Turin, where similar weight of expectation sits on very young shoulders. Hey fam, this is your chance to build the jersey collection you've been waiting for. The Goal 90 bundle deal is live. Buy 2 jerseys and get 10% off. Buy 3 and get 15% off. Buy 4 and get a massive 25% off. Club kits, country kits, retro classics, pick your favourites and save big. And yes, every order comes with free worldwide shipping. The deal runs only until the end of May. Goal 90 bundle deal. Buy more, save more. Shop now at Goal 90 Shop. Kenan Yildiz was handed the Juventus number 10 jersey while still a teenager, a shirt that carries the legacies of Platini and Del Piero. Yildiz himself acknowledged what that means. The number 10 at Juve isn't just any shirt, it pushes you to give something extra. This season he led Juventus in both goals, 10 and assists 6 in 33 Serie A appearances and won the league's Rising Star of the Season award. Standing over 6 feet tall, he already looks physically like a fully formed senior player and performs like one. Goals, creativity, progression. Juventus aren't building around him for the future, they're building around him now. Onto a player whose raw talent is so obvious that scouts began fighting over him before most people had even heard his name. Leny Yoro arrived at Manchester United for €62 million in 2024 after seeming likely to sign for Real Madrid. Suffered a serious ankle injury that wiped out most of his debut season and still managed to show enough in 25-26 to confirm why the biggest clubs in Europe were queuing up for a teenage centre-back. Yoro doesn't react to danger, he anticipates it. He positions himself proactively, reads movements before they develop, and almost never makes a challenge he shouldn't. That's not a 20-year-old trait, that is a veteran trait. He's just 20, with the majority of his career still ahead of him. And then there's the name that might be the most underrated entry on this entire list. Yande Diamande is 19 years old, plays for RB Leipzig, and just completed a season that's put every major club in Europe on alert. 12 goals, 8 assists, and a league-high 118 completed dribbles in the Bundesliga, more than any other player in Germany's top flight. His club paid €20 million for him last summer. They're now demanding closer to €100 million to let him go. Liverpool have made a formal approach, looking at him to be Mo Salah's successor. PSG are also pushing hard. Diamande told L'Equipe directly, "Paris Saint-Germain is a team I've loved since I was a child." His Leipzig manager called him a pretty complete package, an extraordinary talent. What strikes you about Diamande isn't just the pace or the dribbling, it's the complete absence of fear. He plays like someone who already belongs at the highest level because of every indicator he does. Most fans who watch him for the first time assume they're watching a player in his mid-20s. Then the age comes up, 19, and suddenly the whole thing feels wrong, in the best possible way. That feeling is exactly what this list is all about. Do you know any other players who belong on this list? Let us know in the comments. Remember to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel. Also be sure to turn on post notifications so that you never miss out on any new videos. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.